This is a really good environment.
I hate that waterfall.
The environment that we're in.
Yeah. Like I don't think the people listening can hear it, but it's really loud.
It is really loud.
What's really loud?
The waterfall. But like overall, I feel like this place.
The lighting is
studio,
really like dim.
It's like low key, more low key than like my house. Is like, dude, the lights are bright, dude. Oh my gosh, we gonna our logo don't hit the same no more because it's not the L couch.
No, couch, table, painting,
We got the plant.
plant.
Oh, we do got the plant.
Dude, that's just it's
I
logo.
think it would just work out better if we just did a double A battery, bro.
Double A.
I'm just kidding, bro. They gonna sue us for copyright. We're about to lose our whole entire brand, like our Instagram account that got deleted.
Oh yeah, how did that happen?
I don't even know
I don't
how
even know
Instagram
either.
got deleted.
Do they
It was like
tell you
something.
why?
It said we broke
Yeah.
content guidelines or
They said
something.
we broke content guidelines. I think they thought we were copywriting ourselves.
What?
Or they thought that we were a business or something, and we just were promoting. Or I don't know. Maybe it was like spam or something.
I don't know what it was, but then they
Yeah.
banned us, and then like we couldn't update anyone. But we have a new Instagram now.
At adolescence.apartment.
At
That's right.
adolescence.apartment. At adolescence.apartment. At adolescence.apartment. If you haven't seen it already, we post highlights. We post behind the scenes. We post updates. Whatever on there. Drop a follow.
Sir.
Drop a follow.
Dude, I'm so good at selling out. I'm just kidding. Dude. Okay, I really want to. Dude, sometimes I feel like I like troll too much, and then people think I'm being serious, and they think like this dude like actually like egotistical maniac and like everything. But I'm just like I just troll hella, you know. I'm just like I don't actually think I'm really good at marketing and selling out. I'm just like saying that just to troll. You know what I mean? Like sometimes a little bit too troll.
Uh-huh.
What do you think? What do you think about that, Tim?
I think you live up to it. No, like it's not a bad thing. I don't see it being like egotistical as a bad thing.
I think I see it as a bad thing.
What's it called? I think it can be bad if you go past a certain extent. But I don't see anything wrong with having a big ego. As long as you don't like shove it down people's throat all the time.
Where's this going?
I don't know.
I don't even know where this is going.
What?
No, don't worry. Watch this. Wait, babe, you said you're from Georgia, right?
I am from Georgia.
How was it?
It's
Or how is it, I should say?
So like, why'd you move here? Like, was it like housing and like it was cheaper? There's no way it's
Dude.
cheaper in California, bro.
It's more expensive here.
It is, dude.
Yeah.
Houses here are like
Silicon
$1
Valley?
million. Yeah, that's off topic.
oh yeah, I moved here out of everywhere in California. I could have moved to like
For the culture.
a cheaper place,
If you wanted to surf, dude.
I
but
wanted to start hit the beach.
I did not. We don't even have good beaches near here.
Santa Cruz.
Mm,
Santa Cruz is kind of lame. Like the beaches are too cold.
kind
The water's too salty.
of gross.
If I wanted to move to a good beach, I probably would have went to like Miami or something.
You like Miami?
Oh, Malibu, not Miami, Malibu. I'm thinking Florida right now.
Miami
Sorry.
is-
Malibu Nights. Shout
Are you
out Malibu
sure?
Nights.
Really?
That
Yeah,
song's hella
I don't
fire.
like Florida.
Malibu Nights, hella fire.
But yeah,
So
I
why-
didn't
so-
move.
so
I
why
didn't
did
move
you-
here for like what California offers, or kinda.
Then what?
My parents, they got a divorce back in 2016. Or no, 20 at the end of 2015 leading on to 2016. So everything was just very hectic when I moved. I moved right after my birthday. So my 11th birthday party happened and I moved the day after. So I had a birthday party with all my friends and then I left. And I didn't tell anyone.
Do you still talk
dipped.
to any of them?
I still do because of Instagram and everything.
Yeah.
Also, you still like caught up with your homies back in Georgia?
Yeah, like 2016 Skype was a thing. Skype was like the main thing.
Oh,
So,
like before Discord and everything.
Yeah, we had Skype and
Loki?
it's just all that.
I know one person from Georgia. Do you know a girl named Leanna? I don't know. Georgia's
Georgia's
I'm
huge,
just gonna,
bro.
you never know.
Georgia's
You
huge.
never know. I know one person.
I don't know.
Georgia's huge.
No, but yeah, and then I moved here and I've just been here since March 2016. And
How do you
then-
like it here? Is it like nicer than in Georgia? Like
Here-
like how's the weather compared?
The
today?
weather, I realized that all Californians can't take cold, and I can take the
What?
cold really well. Like you guys can't. You guys start complaining when it hits like 60 and down.
No, I love the cold. I can't do hot. though.
No. Oh yeah, you can't. You can't have
I
take
can't
hot
do
things.
hot anything.
Hot is so bad.
Because listen, clothes you can put on more layers. But hot, eventually you gotta stop, right? You know what I
I
mean?
feel you. I feel you. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Over there in Georgia, it gets to like, I think the lowest I've experienced probably like 8.
Degrees?
Yeah, 8 degrees.
Fahrenheit?
Fahrenheit.
Yeah, Fahrenheit.
Oh.
8 Fahrenheit,
what?
and then like all there was snow a lot. So there's this one time I was in like the 3rd grade, and we had snow days, right? We actually had snow days, and my mom, she was coming home from work, and her car in the highway just didn't move at all.
Because of snow?
Yeah, because of the snow. So she was stuck
Oh.
on the highway for like 12 hours, just in one
No.
place.
Don't people like you put salt on it so that it would melt or something?
I think so,
Is that
but
different?
she was
Like, on the
coming like
driveway.
she was
Oh.
coming home really early because no one was like coming to the store,
Mhm.
and then she was just stuck in traffic, and she worked an hour and like 20 minutes away because everything in Georgia is really far apart. So she worked really far. She worked past downtown, and then you had to go a little bit further.
I see. I see.
I think, yeah, it's definitely different here.
Do you
Uh,
prefer it here or or
if
harder
I'm
to
being
tell?
honest, I didn't want to live here. Like I really didn't have a choice. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the whole reason I moved here was just because, parents and my parents divorced, and it was really tough on me. So I think I should elaborate on that because no one's gonna understand how tough it is until I further explain why it's tough. So let's take it back to like rewind, and then October October 2015. So my dad had gone back from a trip to Vietnam, and then he came back in October, and we also moved that year. So I moved houses in 2015 as well, and I had to move to a new elementary school. So he just didn't come home for like a good month or so. Like even though he came back to Georgia, I just didn't see him. And then a month into it, I was at his office because my mom usually picks me up from his office, or my grandparents usually pick me up. And then that day, I was supposed to be sleeping. Like I had nap times back then. I don't know. I just had nap times for my health for whatever reason. And I opened like the door. Like there's this place in the office where you take your break, like a nap or whatever. And I saw him. And then I found out, oh, like I connected the dots. Like, okay, actually I was really oblivious back then because I just didn't know things. So I had to look on the internet, like, what does it mean when your dad,
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he cheated, and I had to like, sorry,
You good?
It's good. It's good.
Take your time.
I moved here 4 months later. Yeah, and like during that time, before I moved and everything, we just couldn't live at home because my dad sold the house and everything. So we just didn't have a place to be, and we had to like borrow friends' houses that were like going on vacation and stuff, or something in the car, and it was really hard. And yeah, that's really it. And I moved here. Spontaneously. I had to leave. I had to go with my mom. Like, it felt wrong if I didn't. You know what I mean? And I've been here since. I go back every couple summers, and I see him, but I just can't see him the same. It's just like, it's not even the divorce that made me like super upset. It was just, he's just never been a good father, you know? Like I've just never had a father figure in my life, and it all hit when he cheated, because I went through this like huge realization that I just don't have that kind of person in my life. And it was just really hard because my past definitely brought stuff up to light that I probably shouldn't talk about on the podcast, or else I'll get like or that's like I have to get reported or mandated. So I won't bring it up. I'll bring it up to you guys, but yeah, I moved here and uh yeah, I come back like I said, and it's just really hard to talk to him. Like he tries to talk to me and he tries to substitute his love for money. So I just get a bunch of gifts and I usually throw them away, which is really I feel is really mean of me, but I just can't accept it because like I don't know. There's not even a reason. It's just against me to accept gifts that he gives me. And then like I think last summer, the summer going into junior year actually, I came back and I just didn't talk to him the entire time. Like I talked to him the previous summers, but I just didn't talk to him this summer because I realized that I'm growing up and I can choose who I want in my life and who I don't. I just don't want him in my life. Like it's really it's so everyone's supposed to say that you're supposed to forgive. I just can't forgive him. And I don't know. It's just him. Like just seeing him makes me shake, or seeing him makes me makes my trauma come back all over again, and I just can't handle it. So when I was in Georgia, I just couldn't accept his money. And at the time, I had a job and everything, so I didn't let him pay for anything. Like if he wanted to pay for something, I just didn't accept it, and I either gave him the money back or I just told my brother to give it to him. And I try to hang out with my friends as much as possible and my family members there, so I could just avoid him the entire time. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Mm-hmm. Like
Thanks for sharing.
I didn't think I was gonna cry because whenever I say this kind of stuff, I don't cry, and then maybe it's just like
It's
the
okay.
atmosphere.
Honestly.
But yeah.
Hope things get better with family life for you.
Yeah.
Are things better now?
Um. Yeah, I think so. It's just, I mean, my mom is definitely doing better. It was really hard on her because I remember this one night back when he came back actually. Okay, when he came back before I found out about all the cheating stuff, he and my mom picked me up from my grandparents, and I went out because my dad was greeting my grandparents, which are his parents. So I went out to the car just to, because I wanted to go home because I was with them for like 5 days because my mom just couldn't watch over us and stuff because she had to work. And came out to the car and then she was crying. And she was just crying, and I didn't understand why. And then we got home. Like my grandparents' house was like a 30-minute drive from my the house I lived in at the time. And then we went home, and then I was just like, and then I found out I found out why she was like so sad. Like the past couple of months, I think like the cheating thing has been happening for a long time before I found out my personally, and then yeah, I found out through her, like through that like I suspected because that's just like wrong of a husband to
not
do
right.
to his wife, you know.
Mhm.
And then yeah, a couple of days later, I found out the cheating part. And I didn't tell my mom about it. I didn't tell anyone about it. I just like. So I have this. Okay, so when we moved to the new house, I have this like room. I had a room, and my closet was pretty big. So, like, it was like, I can't really describe it, but I was like sleeping in my closet because my closet was kind of soundproof, and I just like cry, and I couldn't be there for my mom either because I was like confused and I was young, so it was just hard.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
If you had like, if you had to tell like your
Young
your younger self when you were going through that difficult time with your knowledge and maturity now, like what do you think you would tell her to do, or would you encourage
I'd say that the whole like saying that everything will turn out okay, it's actually pretty true. Like, I feel if I didn't move here, I wouldn't be doing this, and I've definitely had a lot of stuff given to me, like a lot of blessings, just because I moved here, and I think that it might be hard right now, but she should stick through it and watch over her brothers. My brothers didn't know what was going on at the time, so I probably couldn't even explain it to them because I was 10 when this happened, and like ranging from order to order. Matthew was 8, Aiden was 5, and Sean was like not even a year, and they probably wouldn't understand even if I told them. So it's just like completely on me. And then I remember like countless days or like months, I just had to keep making them food. So like I had to learn how to cook because my mom just wasn't home, and it was just me, you know. And I just watched over them, and I said everything would be okay because they kept like asking me why is she coming home, or like why isn't he coming home, and yeah.
You did a really good job though. Sean's hella fun to play with.
her?
Sean brought you up the other day. How you had to give him $50.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. Well, I still haven't told them like my side, so I guess they can watch this video and find out what happened.
Aw.
Especially Sean. I'll probably have to tell him later in the future why he doesn't live with his dad or anything. So
you're really strong for that.
Mhm.
That's-
I can't even imagine
yeah,
not having a
like I
parents.
literally can't even imagine like everything that you've been through. That's and it's like a part of you forever now. You know.
You did good.
Yeah.
And we'll be
Tough
here if you
dream.
want to talk.
Yeah.
All of us.
I mean, I guess for me, I wouldn't say it's anything close to that. But it was also when I was younger. Um, I don't really tell this story a lot because I feel like there's this kind of I feel like there's this kind of image that people have of me, and to hear this story, kind of just it just like to them they wouldn't I feel like they wouldn't get it because it doesn't match my character, I guess. But um, when I was growing up, like I would say first to fifth grade, I was also pretty naive, and I was pretty unaware of things that were going on, and so that's how I know that you know even even like if the young me thought this was bad, then if like the old me would know that it's even like worse than that, you know. And I also don't like talking about this story because I feel like I just feel kind of sometimes I feel like inconsiderate, I guess, because I just I've always been told not to complain or not to talk about issues because you're like, oh, it's someone else is going through it much worse. So for you to have these things, for you to have privileges like this, and still come out and talk about it, would seem really disrespectful, and it would seem like, oh, you're just privileged, you know. And so that's why I really don't talk about this much. But I mean, back when I was younger, I said first to fifth grade, I used to live at a different house, not like in a different state like you, Viv, but same house. Not same house, same city. Like I literally live like 10 minutes away from there. But I used to live with my grandparents and my uncle, and like I would say that to say that me and my brother had limited freedom is an understatement. We had no freedom whatsoever within that household. Both my parents were working, and so they left us in the care of my uncle and my grandparents until like 8 o'clock at night. And we didn't have no type of freedom. Like I don't. I remember like when I was in elementary school, I was like my friends would talk about hanging out, like going to each other's houses, and I was just like, I didn't even ever consider that I could do that because I always had to go straight home. And my uncle kind of dictated and controlled me and my brother's lives a lot. He would put a bunch of rules in place, like make a bunch of rules that we would have to follow, and if we didn't follow them, like we would be punished, like by having even less freedom and less options and less things to do. And like around like third grade or something, we got to the point where like me and my brother, we had to, my mom had to take us to like my grandparents' house just for us to do things that we enjoyed, like using electronics, watching TV, playing games. We had to literally like escape the house to do that because my uncle would say like, oh, since if you're in this house, like you follow my rules, and you're not allowed to do any of this, you know. And um, it kind of escalated, I would say, um, a lot, like around fifth grade when I was in sixth grade, actually sixth grade. It climaxed in sixth grade when um, there had been some family tensions between my dad and my grandparents and my uncle, and it kind of just exploded when I was in sixth grade to the point where like, so I don't want to overshare to the point where like this must be reported, but where sometimes when I was at home, I would like feel scared, you know. I would feel unsafe. But everything's good now. Everything's good now. Everything. I don't want to get reported, but that's really that's really how it was. Like I don't want to get into like the deep stuff, but just long story short, I felt unsafe at home, scared almost, and me and my brother, because at that point in time, my uncle took care of us. Like he took us to swim practice, took us home from school, etc., etc. Right, and when that all went down, my uncle disappeared, my grandparents disappeared, and everything that I knew was normal just went out the window, right? Because it used to be my uncle would take care of us and like give us rides and stuff. And then my grandparents, or at least my grandma, would cook us like food. But after that explosion of tension happened, everything that I knew, everything, all of that went out the window, right? After school, me and my brother, we were forced to walk to the Noble Library, which is like a mile, probably a mile away, with all our stuff. And we'd go there every day after school. And when we would come home, my dad would like give us some takeout food because we couldn't eat my grandma won't cook for us anymore. We'd eat some takeout food, and then we'd like chill outside. I don't really even know what we would do, but we would like try to stay away out of the house as long as we could, and we would go back to our house at like 8 in the nighttime. This was like every day, and right when we got into the house, we like quickly made our way to my parents' room, and me and my brother, we just stayed there the whole time. It was just me, my brother, my mom, and my dad, and we just kind of just chilled there. Like chill is the bad word for this, all right? Like we were there, and like we were kind of like, it almost, we didn't barricade ourselves in. Okay, like that's not the condition, like that's not the extent to what it was like, but it felt like we were barricading ourselves in. Like
Yeah.
we didn't we didn't barricade ourselves in, but it felt like we were barricading ourselves in because
Like
there's
actually.
there's just so much drama, you know. And just during that time, I feel like I'm grateful that I experienced that when I was young and not now, because since I was younger, I didn't. I guess it didn't register for me. You know, it didn't register for me, and it's it to even to this point, to this day, it's still lost kind of. I try not to like think about it, and then I just it doesn't even to this day it doesn't really make much sense to me. Um, like I just remember the only emotion that I can remember feeling at one point was that I was scared, and that I was scared, and I felt unsafe in my own house, and it was just I just it was really it was a really wild time. That's all I can really say. And it's
The family situation is good now, right? Like your family, your mom, dad.
Mom, dad,
oh
brother.
yeah, we moved out of the house in seventh grade, and to be honest, like it changed my life
For the better.
for the better. Like I feel like if for someone who really knew me in like first to sixth grade, compared to like I feel seventh grade me is more resemblance of current me, you know, like, and I feel so grateful that like we got to move out and I got to have some like my parents trusted me with some freedom when I was in middle school and even in high school, and I feel like that's really like shaped up to the person and like the personality that I am right now. Because I remember back in elementary school, bro, I was like really not social. I was like really, I would say I was your everyday introvert, but now I guess I feel more like I'm an extrovert, and I don't know where that switch happened, but I just remember like being really scared of talking to people before seventh grade, and then when seventh grade happened, like I never turned back. You know what I mean? And then like that's why that's why I'm grateful, you know, um, and that's also why like because my brother, he's 5 years older than me, and he basically experienced what I experienced 5 years later. So most of his high school and most of his middle school time was just nothing, you know, could not do anything. And, you know, I mean, there's only so much you can do as a fifth grader. You know, there's no clubs in fifth grade, you know, there's no sports and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, my brother did sports, but he didn't do much of anything else. And I could just imagine, like, how much harder that was for him. Um, but I guess that's also another reason why I really feel inconsiderate when I talk about it, because I know, like my brother, that was 10 times worse for him. But I've learned that that doesn't mean just because someone has worse, like doesn't mean that like that invalidates what I had to go through. And so, you know, that's kind of how I grew up.
Thanks for sharing, man. Glad things are better.
Yeah, man.
Well, for me, like my childhood is kind of similar to Matt. I'm not gonna lie. You guys don't know, like I grew up in a really Christian household, and like I'm a firm believer in God and Jesus, church, all the good, all the stuff, you know,
Everything.
everything. And from a young age, like my family's like I would say like extra religious, especially my mom's side. My dad's side's not at all, but my mom's side is like really strict about it and really like wants like enforces it pretty much. And for me, like growing up, They like shoved like all that stuff into my face. They're like, church, you need to go to church. You gotta do this, that, do everything. So at a young age, they put me. I wouldn't say like the ministry, but like I started doing a lot of things in church. First, I started from like playing the piano for like some like occasionally playing the piano, to doing skits, to doing performance, and then yeah, just like the. At first, it was like really small things that oh yeah, I was like oh this is fun, I enjoy this. But as I grew older, with in like middle school, so what I was talking about earlier was like elementary, and then when I got into middle school, they're like okay, you're older now, so you need more responsibilities. So then going from like doing performances, playing piano at church, went to like do you want oh so a little backstory how church work is like we have a service where like there's a session called praise where like we just like sing songs, and usually when that happens there's a main musician who would like organize the music, send it out to the like the rest of the band, and then practice to sing, right? In the beginning I would only play like special songs, so it was like a 5 minute 10 minute of my day. But then when I hit middle school, they're like, "You're older, time to do big boy things," and like they asked me, "Do I want to do it?" Like from my grandparents' side, who are like really religious. That made me feel like really obligated. So I was like, "Oh yeah, yes," because I know if I say no, they'll feel like disappointed and like sad about me not joining or be willing to like help at the church. So I said yes, even though I really didn't want to. But it like grew on me, and then they were seeing that I started to enjoy it, right? And they were like, okay, since you're having so much fun with this, let's add more. So then I went from playing the piano to like doing the sound at church. So in the back corner of the church, while everyone's like worshiping or singing and stuff, there's a person that like controls the sound for like the mics and the speakers. So eventually I got that job as well. So then I was playing piano, but at the same time also doing the sound. And then we had like an orchestra program. And they're like, you know what? You play piano, right? You should join that too. And they're like, do you want to do it? I'm like, sure, I guess. Because again, I felt really bad for saying no for some reason. Like I was really scared of saying no. Like especially to like people like I'll say authority, but because they're like my grandma and grandpa, I don't want to disappoint them and stuff. So I just said yes, I'll do it. And then eventually that led to like me every Sunday staying at church from like 8 till 4 p.m. And then on the weekends I have to like prepare music and do all this stuff. And I felt like low key, I like that took away my childhood. Because I was in that work mentality the whole time. I was like, okay, I go school, when I'm done with school, church stuff, church things, church things. And then like Christmas season, because Christmas is really big for Christians, right? Like the birth of Jesus and everything. And then after Christmas, there's Good Friday. Good Friday, there's Easter. That whole winter, was it like season, I guess, was like super like jam packed with church things. But on top of that, I still had school, and I'm like 12. I want to go out, play games, like even hang out with my siblings, or even hang out with the kids at church. But instead, I have to like practice or like do stuff with the adults, and that like built up inside me. And then recently, freshman year, actually no, last year, I kind of blew up. Like I told my mom and dad like how I feel about everything because I know at first I didn't want to tell them because I know they would be sad and like disappointed that oh yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. But I got really mad one day because was planning a trip with my friends and they canceled it. They're like, you can't go because this just came up and you need to do it. And I'm like, dude, I've been doing this for what, like 5 years of my life. I just want one day out. And like, you can't, like, they didn't give it to me. And I got really upset. And I blew up on my mom. I feel really bad, like really bad about it now. But I'm glad it happened because I was able to express how like, was it uncomfortable? No, like how angry I was that as a kid, I couldn't play with the other kids. I couldn't go out with my friends. I had to stay home and all that stuff. Yeah, but things are better now. So, but I'm grateful for the experience. I think it made me like more responsible,
Mm-hmm.
understanding that, oh yeah, as you get older, you get more responsibilities. But at the time, I felt it was really unfair that, oh, a little more. At the time, I was the only kid doing like the stuff adults should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
That was like really weird to me. I'm like, why am I doing all this when my brother, my friends, I just messing around on the playground and I'm inside like doing a soundboard thing. Like I was really confused about that. And then when I asked, they're like, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's like it's for church.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing for good." Low key felt like that was like invalidating my anger
Mm-hmm.
of like wanting to not do this anymore. But I'm happy it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Taught me responsibility, what it means to like be responsible. I don't know how effective that was because I slack so much in school now. Yeah, but everything's good now. Um, ever since that happened with my parents and stuff, everything calmed down a little. I have less responsibility at church, so I feel like I have more free time and more time to do school, more time to have fun, which I appreciate.
That's good. That's good to hear. So you like going out and just living it up now, huh?
I think something you can take away is like everything will be okay. Like in that time, it's like feels super restrictive, super limiting. You might even feel scared, but you'll get over it.
I just feel like I remember thinking this to myself, like, this is when is this gonna end? Like, how long do I have to keep doing this? Right? And I feel like everyone has like a sort of battery. But the longer it keeps happening, it's like the battery
Wait.
starts to die. And then I
Oh.
guess like the battery is kind of like your hope. Because it gets to the point where it's like in the beginning, like people tell you tell yourself, your parents tell you, oh, it's just only for now, right? And then it keeps on happening, and it doesn't change,
Yeah.
and then the conditions are still as bad, right? And it's like, it's okay, just keep. It's like, it's okay, we're gonna get out. But then there's like a battery life, and when I feel like when that whole battery is gone, it's just because I've been there. It's really hard to recharge your battery. Like, I hate to make it a analogy metaphor,
No, analogies
but
are
I
fun.
really
Fine.
love
It's
analogies, But like like it's easy to charge a battery when it's still charged, but when it's empty and it's been empty for a long, like just imagine like your battery's been like your rechargeable battery has been dead for 3 years.
Trying to get it charged.
Trying to charge it again, it'll struggle because it's
Mhm.
been dead for so long.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's one of the reasons why like people like don't want to talk about it with other people, or don't want to like talk to a professional about it, is because their battery's been dead for a long time, you know and from their point of view, actually I don't want to speak from another person's point of view, but speaking from experience, it's like, obviously from our point of view now, it's like, okay, yeah, I guess better at the end, right?
Mhm.
But obviously everything is easier when it's
Over
when you
with.
when you yeah when you know
Yeah,
like what's
yeah.
gonna happen. But when you're in the moment, you don't know what it's going to be like, and you don't know when it's gonna get better.
Mhm.
You know, there's no one can tell you a definitive time. Okay, by seventh grade, this will be all better for you, Matthew. You know, I just remember like just that feeling of like, damn, when is this? Like, how long does this have to keep on going on for? Like, this is getting to the point where like I can't even see the end of the tunnel. You know, um, and I feel like that's what a lot of people find themselves in, is that in the beginning you can see the end, the light at the end of the tunnel. You got that motivation. People telling you what to do. Add it like more light, and then more time goes on, it gets dimmer and dimmer and dimmer, to the point where you can't see it anymore. And now you're lost. You're lost in the dark. You can't see. You don't even know if you're going in the right direction or not to get out of it, right? And you know that's I feel like that's one of the reasons why people don't like to talk about it or bring it up, or people don't like to try to seek for help, is because they don't think they can be helped, or it can be helped,
That
right?
was a nice analogy.
It was a good analogy.
tunnel?
It was a good analogy.
Bro. And then
How I see it is like you said battery, right? I see a balloon.
uh-huh.
So like you're starting, and then like all the problems, whatever, all your struggles will like pump up the balloon until eventually, like if there's too much air, a balloon will pop. And same for people I see. Because for me, I try to like hold everything together. So like it's like a really tight balloon with a lot of air. And then like last year, I just pop. And I feel like didn't you have a similar where like, or was it
What do you mean?
like where like everything like built up inside you, tense, like, and then just one time you just had to boom, let it go.
I don't think I ever.
Oh wait,
had
no,
one of those.
sorry. I was talking about your uncle. I mean, your dad with your uncle and grandparents.
Oh yeah,
there was a lot
that
of
was
tension,
kind of like that.
And then,
But if you were really talking about analogies, that one was more of like there was a needle and it popped a balloon like
oh,
that.
that's more like a needle.
Because there's just one event
Oh,
that
yeah.
just blew everything out.
Mine is like,
Yeah. And then like, and I feel like a lot of people have been in like a tough state and have had mental health um like I don't want to label it as mental health issues, right? I don't want to label it as mental health issues because I feel like issues is such a has such a negative connotation behind it. Like there's something wrong with you, but there's really nothing wrong with it. It's kind of like, can anyone help me? Like I don't. It's completely normal, you know,
Yeah.
and
I think it's a very human thing.
yeah, it's definitely a human thing, and if you like anyone if like anyone is going through any type of situation that's really difficult, you know, I know there might be no more energy left in your battery, and I know it may look like you're in the complete darkness with no light at the end of the tunnel, but I'm asking you guys if any of you guys are going through anything, just like trust me on this one. Just talk to any professional, social worker, whether it's at school or like a therapist or something.
You can start with small steps though.
Yeah.
Like maybe reaching out to your friends first, and then maybe your parents.
I feel you on that too. I just feel like social workers are more reliable. Sometimes you tell your friends that they don't really understand what you're saying.
Mhm.
They don't give you the support that you really expect. Now that your parents, sometimes your parents kind of invalidate the way that you feel, and that's why I always say like try to go visit a social worker, someone that can be that person for you that just is completely neutral and can just hear you out. And yeah, if anyone's going through anything, I really hope that you can meet up with someone who can hear you out and listen to you.
And we'll add some information that you guys can go to, right?
Yeah, we'll add
Yeah.
some information
Cool.
about that. Thanks for listening. I know this week's episode, I know it was a lot for the three of us to come out and share about that. And then I don't know. Hopefully, hearing any of those stories wasn't a trigger. We'll put a trigger warning
Didn't
Oh yeah,
drive
we
you
will.
away.
We will.
for anyone. And we just want to let you guys know that everybody got stuff. Everybody got a bag of marbles. And everyone got a bag of strawberries. Some strawberries are green, and some strawberries are red. You know, and again, if you're going through anything and you're having just a rough day in general,
You're never alone.
yeah, you're never alone. Seek someone out. Seek someone who will listen to you, who will make you feel heard. And that's about it. Stay tuned. Next episode, we're gonna have a guest who's going to be with us, our first guest. So let's give it. Let's.
You'll
Okay.
see who next.
Yeah,
We'll see.
you guys
We'll
will see. Hopefully that's gonna be a blast to record, and we can make it an awesome episode for you guys. Peace
All right.
out.
See ya.
Bye guys.